Welcome to Man at the Tap, a podcast of Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Friday, January the 30th, 2026, during the third week after Epiphany. The lectionary guides us to the book of Deuteronomy in the Old Testament, written by Moses, the man who rescued God's people from slavery in Egypt and led them into the desert where they lived for 40 years. God originally gave Moses the law and the guidelines that the people were to follow in their new land. But 40 years have already passed, and the book of Deuteronomy restates these laws and procedures for the latest generation born in the desert. The lectionary reading covers Deuteronomy chapter 24 and 25, starting at verse 17 of chapter 24 and ending at verse 4 of chapter 25. People were to treat vulnerable groups in the community, such as foreigners, orphans, and widows, with compassion, always remembering that their parents had been enslaved people in Egypt and that it was God who had redeemed them from there. They were warned against corrupting justice by applying different laws to the rich and powerful compared to the poor. For instance, they were advised not to seize a widow's outer garment as collateral for a loan. In an agrarian society during harvest, they were instructed to leave some grain unraked so that the underprivileged could collect it. And God assured them that He would bless their efforts in response to their kindness. Moses kept reminding the people that their ancestors had been enslaved in Egypt, and it was God who had redeemed them and brought them out. This memory was meant to motivate them to show mercy rather than exploit others. When disputes arose between parties, they were expected to go to court where the judge would deliver a fair judgment. Justice should be administered without delay, and the process should not be unduly burdensome to the guilty party. God's laws not only concerned people, but also their animals, which helped them work in the field. The law mandated humane treatment of the ox, whose job was to walk in a circle to grind the grain from its husk. The law stated that it would be cruel to make the ox wear a muzzle to prevent it from eating some of the grain. This law may seem outdated today, but its core idea remains relevant. It serves as a reminder to show kindness to animals that serve us.